This thing's recording now? Yeah. One thing that viewers for the past few years, followers on Twitch, YouTube subscribers, is that I made the change from having my camera directly in front of my monitor to kind of off to the side a little. It's a change that I prefer personally. I also debated on if I should move this microphone closer like this. I bet there's a huge change in audio now. Huh. However, though, this thing right here is kind of distracting though. I bet that makes noise, doesn't it? Okay, we can just keep it the way it was. This was originally meant to be a whole lot more, grandiose and much more professionally edited, kind of like my very first video. But it's been a busy week. Oh yeah, speaking of videos, that's really what I wanted to talk about today. So here I am whenever I was 16, posting my very first video in June of 2010.
Alright, so this was my
Climactic, huh?
7-day survivor night.
I mean, Christ, just look at those braces, look at those glasses, look at all those zits, man.
What I tried to do was get the 7-day survivor achievement in Dead Rising.
Dude, blink, Christ.
To play the game for 14 hours.
Like, obviously back then, I didn't have all the equipment that I do now. I could really only just say what I had to say directly into the camera. So for a video that's supposed to be about Dead Rising, I really don't actually show Dead Rising that much. It's just me just fooling around. And to an extent, that's still what, I really want this channel to be about. That's what YouTube in general is about, just people being themselves. For those that remember YouTube, from 05 to I think like 2011. I think it was mid 2012 that there's somewhere in there that YouTube became a whole lot more commercialized. And so before that though, it was just mainly content creators just being themselves. Of course there were big names, but still it didn't feel anywhere near as commercialized. There was no Raid Shadow Legends or Skillshare ads right in the middle of the videos. This is an Xbox Live indie game called Creed Arena, created by two brothers in Australia. From Australia. I meant to mention this, by the way, is how the Xbox Live indie games, none of them were as polished or had the budget of AAA titles, but they definitely had a whole lot more heart. Something that film buffs will say is, even if a film is bad, they'll try to at least try to appreciate what the film attempts to do. They blah 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 blah. They're at least passionate about films in that way. Well, I can say the same thing about gaming. Even whenever, such as these Xbox Live indie games, these projects that are done by small developers, this was done by brothers. Most of the other indie games were lone projects, low budget, but I could tell they had a whole lot of heart, and that's what I truly appreciated about the indie games back then. It's what I appreciate about gaming in general now too. Anyway, so this game was called Creed Arena, and then check this out, guys. If we would get there. That's me right at the #1 spot on its leaderboard by a really large margin. The developer of the game, Redake, he's at second place. So, unless you already have a copy of Creed Arena and you can find other people to play online with, I'm going to be at the #1 spot from here on out. The Xbox Live Indie Games marketplace was shut down in 17, so you had to have already have a copy of Creed Arena downloaded. And as I said, gotta find people to play online with. And man, it's too bad that I couldn't find very many games of this, because it was pretty fun. I think the most people I was able to get games together with was 6, and it was crazy. Yeah. Alright, now here's a video that I wouldn't actually mind showing you the entirety of, even despite how at the time I had this really crappy camera that kept on making this really annoying noise.
ZP2K9 blew me away, even with its flaws. But in ZP2KX, you can tell that James Silva went the extra mile, improving weapons, graphics, much more.
Jeez Louise, come on, freaking! I thought I'm bad about enunciating now. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, and some and some explanation. ZP2K9 and ZP2KX, Zombies and Pterodactyls 2K9, Zombies and Pterodactyls 2KX, are both games that were released on the Xbox Live Indie Game Marketplace, and they were 2D multiplayer shooters. Never played anything like it before, never played anything like it since.
ZP2K9 blew me away, even with its flaws. But in ZP2KX, you can tell that James Silva went the extra mile.
Yeah, the name of the lead developer was James Silva. Went the extra mile.
Weapons, graphics, much more variety, unlockables, etc. And you have no reason to check it out.
Obviously, I said no reason to not check it out.
Alright, I'll give it a big thumbs up.
In this other video, I show off how in Gears of War 2 on Horde mode, I finished Wave 50. I just simply discuss it.
There it is right there. Team survived 50 Horde waves. And on top of that, I did it on Christmas Day. Well, technically Christmas Day, since it's 1 in the morning now. So, wow, I'm very happy.
Alright, next. Okay, so now this one I kind of have like a capture device for, but it was a really bad one, and like it was like it couldn't even the laptop that I tried to use it on was not at all able to handle the software. But hey, I did get the Party Like It's 1999 achievement.
Guys, I haven't made a video in a while, so it's just that I haven't had any ideas. Pretty disappointing after buying Dead Rising 2 and then like Dead Rising K0 and then Dead Rising 2 and then beating Dead Rising 2, but then there not being this awesome infinity mode on it. Here we are, the Mega Blaster that you get for killing 50,000 zombies or something, like a little over 50,000 zombies. The laser sword for 5 days. Let me show you the 7-day survivor reward. Oh yeah.
If you're at your controller for 14 straight hours, the in-game award for getting the 7-day survivor achievement is that pair of boxers.
Arthur's boxers from Ghosts and Goblins? Yeah, that's what it is.
I think I remember this now. What I do is I just show all the first steps that you do whenever you are playing Infinity mode. Yeah, you go get the books. There's 3 books that are scattered all over the mall. Like, there's not really a... Like, they're each, like, all on way different sides of the mall, though. And then there's these human NPCs that are called psychopaths that will attack you whenever they see you. And so, what you can do, instead of having to directly fight them, is you can just get in this car and run them over. So let's see how I damage that guy. And then after you kill the psychopaths, they drop the food.
And then grab a sniper rifle so you can see read the clock tower.
Frank's watch is disabled,
Now you'll 3 blocks away.
so you have to actually use clocks that are like scattered around the mall. This next video of mine that I have, I actually, like, it's so much that I think I'm actually gonna let you just watch the entirety of it unedited right now. Okay, so now that I watch it, I'm probably going to go back and just speed up the footage but keep the original audio. That was the very first Forge world that I had ever put together in Halo Reach, and it said in the description of the video that I put it together over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, so I must have changed this and that here and there over the course of those 3 and 4 weeks. I do remember how in one part of the video, you Hawkeyes out there may have noticed that I cheated on one part. Not the part at the end where I just show you the path. Because I just didn't want to spend too much time making too many attempts to make that jump. Another thing that I remember was, for those who remember the Xbox Live indie game, hell, I don't even remember it. It was a game that you make music with, Easy Muse. On their website, they had a contest for whoever could make the best song on there, and it was called Easy Muse Idol. And so that song, it made second place. However, though, what I do remember is that song had the most downloads than first place did by far. So even though the judges for that event chose another song to be number one, it was clear that the rest of the audience preferred second place. And I remember that guy's username, it was Uberleet Haxers, and I remember it was spelled kind of weird. I think it's at this point that I will mention that I've had the username Toxic Wildhog since high school. Well before kids nowadays ever started saying toxic.
And what's up, guys? No, I can't steal an opening from Rooster Teeth. Hey, guys.
Rooster Teeth, in a whole bunch of their videos, they start off their videos by yelling, "What's up, guys?" So I can't steal their opening, is a joke I tried to make here.
What's up, guys? No, I can't steal an opening from Rooster Teeth. Hey, guys, I'm very excited to do my very first review of an indie game.
Whoa, I did a very first review of an indie game? Jeez, what about that ZP2KX one, but whatever.
And so for my first review, I decided to review Avatar Paintball. Simply because it is very easy to review. It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I know this is my first review, but I can firmly say that it is one of the worst titles that you could pick on the Xbox Live Indie Games.
There's worse.
There's no crosshairs, there's no verticality, you can't look up and down, you can only look left and right. Aiming is just a matter of just complete McDonald's smoothie. It's just a complete matter of luck and randomness. You just move around left and right, hoping that you shoot your target that is the other enemy player. Like, smaller avatars actually have an advantage over larger ones. And so, I would have to give this game an F. Yeah, that's how I do reviews. I'm gonna give them like a letter grade.
And it's something I still do nowadays whenever I like to talk about anything.
F. So do not buy this game, and I'll have more reviews.
You can't buy it anymore anyways because the Xbox Live Indie Games marketplace is shut down. It was kind of weird that Avatar Paintball was as popular as it was because it was also not very good. However, though, I do remember that developer, that indie developer, he went on to make Avatar Laser Tag. I think was what it was called, and I think that one was better. Here's something that I made with an app called VidRhythm.
Toxic. Toxic. Wild. Toxic. 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 Wild. 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 Toxic. Wild. Toxic. Wild. Toxic. Toxic. Wild. Wild. Toxic. Wild. Toxic. Wild. Toxic. Wild. Wild hog.
So there was that. Oh yeah, by the way, I feel the need to mention that whenever I made my gamertag Toxic Wild Hog on Xbox Live, I forgot to capitalize the H when I first made it. So it's a mistake that I made, but I just stuck with it, and so anytime I used that username, like on YouTube or whatever, I didn't capitalize the name then, and it wasn't until years into adulthood that I spent the $10 to fix the typo and capitalize the H. So nowadays the H is capitalized. Back then it was not. Just wanted to spoiler talk for Edge of Tomorrow, which I saw a few days ago. Yeah, I had not seen any trailers for it before. This is the first Tom Cruise movie that I ever remember seeing ever. And so I like to talk about movies occasionally. One of them that I must have made a video about was Edge of Tomorrow. It's a pretty cool, good movie. Go watch it if you haven't. It's pretty entertaining. And that is just about it. What I mean by that is I didn't show all my videos. Either they were just too terrible, too boring, or they involved other people, or I actually may even make a separate video about some MTG booster packs openings that I did. Well, it's been a really good 30 years, and here's to 30 more.